A to the K.
To the K.
To the K.
Hello, one and all. Welcome to the A2theK Wrestling Show, where we are talking WWE Clash at the Castle.
Right.
And the crowd goes mild, to say the least. Fortunate enough to be able to watch this one together, weren't we? In the same damn room.
We watched it live. You know what? It's kind of nice being in the same room every once in a while.
It is. Yeah.
But one of the rare occasions we could watch it live.
What's the green screen behind me? Where'd that come from?
Weird.
Planting the seeds.
Yeah, one of the rare times, Carl, we could watch it live and we could watch it at a reasonable fucking hour.
It makes a difference, to be fair.
It's nice. It does make a difference. I'm not exhausted.
Well, I'm still exhausted, but you know.
Well, I'm always. I mean, we're parents. We're always tired.
This is true.
But no, you know what? It's probably like I'm intrigued to know how the American audience actually feels about it, because obviously we've got a lot of interaction on our socials with various other podcasts that are from the States that seem to really enjoy the pay-per-view. But you know, when you go, well, this was a big deal for us because like this is the first big the first pay-per-view we've had since 1992, Carl. So it's like it was like, you know, like a big comeback almost, wasn't it? You know, like a really big deal. And for the most, I'd say it delivered. I don't know how you feel about that.
Well, I mean, we can get into that, can't we? Because it was a mixed bag, if you will. So if you kick off with the opening match of the night,
you're a mixed bag.
Your face is a mixed bag. So the opening match of the night was actually on the pre-show, so it wasn't announced ahead of time, but it was Madcap Moss and the Street Profits teaming up against Austin Theory and Alpha Academy. Not a whole lot to say about this one. Interesting that Theory lost. So they're clearly not booking him super strong since he's won the Money in the Bank, are they? Let's be fair.
No, they're not. Since
not strong at all.
Daddy Vince is gone.
Since Daddy Vince is gone. But now he's got Papa H.
Papa H.
So we'll see.
But no, it's an interesting choice. I mean, I'm kind of like, I feel almost bad for the Street Profits at this point. Like, I think you mentioned it at the time when I did this at the time, but you go, well, they went from being like so prominent to like pre-show, and there's nothing wrong with the pre-show. It's there to get people hyped for the pay-per-view, but you know, they're on pre-show now, and I don't know, like, I think we both agree, like, the opportunity to win the tag titles was a missed opportunity, because like they've lost the Usos so consistently now that it's just ridiculous on them, really. That's from a booking point of view.
I mean that's why it's happened, doesn't it? Is you can only have so many matches up against the Usos, and they don't really have any other tag teams. So it's like, well, what do we do? I don't know. Alpha Academy. Let's book them against them. Yeah. Interesting choice, though. To be fair, and it was a match that didn't really mean much at all. But as you said, with a pre-show, the intention is to just get the crowd somewhat hyped. So yeah, I'd say it sort of achieved that to some degree. Madcap Moss was pretty over with the crowd, which was interesting and unexpected. But there you have it. So let's mosey on over to the next match, which was the first match of the actual Clash of the Castle premium live event. And it was Bayley, Dakota, Kai, and Io Sky, who are now called Damage Control.
Damage Control? Not bad. I mean,
taking on...
I don't know. Let's talk about that name for a sec, because I'm a bit like... So, they're not causing the damage. They're controlling the damage?
Controlling the damage.
It almost sounds like they're there to fix things. Maybe that's what they're going for. I don't know.
Sounds like a Control Your Narrative pay-per-view, to be fair. Control your damage.
Yeah, nice.
But yeah, so essentially we had Damage Control against Bianca, Belair, Asuka, and Liv Morgan, which was an interesting one, to say the least. And my notes here are confusing me, because they're wrong. And what actually happened was Damage Control picked up the win. So there you go. And it was the right choice, to be fair. What was shocking to this... Go on.
I was going to say, before we get into details of the match itself, I love the fact that this was like the first match of the pay-per-view itself, you know, ignoring the pre-show. And the fact that this was the very definition of a British crowd, because we got the return of the Hey Bayley chant. It's just the epitome of it, isn't it? And I absolutely love it. We've mentioned a few times, we love a good chant. You know,
we do.
It's something that Carl is a big football fan, or a soccer for those in the States. And, you know, it's a staple of football. Just like It's been a staple of this. Every time Bayley's in this country in a match, she's going to get that chance. And I fucking love it.
Yeah, she is. I think and she handled it well as well, to be fair. She absorbed it for a little bit and then kind of turned it back on the crowd, didn't she? Which was, top
It's brilliant. You can see she was loving it, but to play it into a heel character, like she refused to tag in a few times. And credit to her, because this sort of stuff, her reaction to the crowd, they couldn't have planned. So she called it on the fly to be like, no, I'm gonna tag back out. I'm not going to entertain them. And give them what they want kind of approach. And
to be fair as well, talking about the crowd, like there was moments like this where they were really loud, and there was like moments in the main events where they were really loud. But I don't think they were that loud really throughout. I think I said to you at the time, I wonder, because it's in a stadium show, whether the sound's just going up and out. But obviously when they can generate the volume for chants like this, it does make you kind of question that. So.
To be honest, the reality, as much as I did really enjoy this pay-per-view as a whole, I kind of get why they probably weren't chanting for some other matches they were good, but are they going to cause the crowd to go wild? Probably not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, as we open the show, the crowd goes mild. But yeah, so it's an interesting one. But I think it was the right result. What was somewhat surprising is it was Bianca that took the actual pin.
Yeah, I think we were both shocked that she was going to eat the pin. I think we both, correct me if I'm wrong from the predictions, but we both expected Bayley's team to win. It just made sense from a booking point of view. They're a new faction,
I mean,
to dominate, and they need to look dominant right now. But Bianca eating the pin is an interesting choice.
Yeah, certainly is. And don't get me wrong, it was clean, but it was essentially there was like a 3-on-1 before it with Bianca's teammates kind of out of action. So it was a clean pin, of course, but at the same time, it was the odds were stacked against her, if you will. So I don't think it's a super harmful loss, but surprised to say the least. And I think it was a good decision because ultimately the end goal here is to set up Bayley and Bianca, right? So now Bayley can say, well, I've pinned you already, and it just starts that storyline. So yeah, all in all, though, I thought
it works really well. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent match. Everybody got some good spots in on it as well. So nice little kind of hot contest for the opening of the show. Really.
Indeed, yeah. Couldn't agree more. So a solid opener, Carl. What do we follow it up with?
A chop fest. Gunther's Chop House. This was awesome on it, to be fair. Uncle Dave rated it 5 stars, I believe. 5 stars from Uncle Dave. I mean, these two, like, they knew what they were doing going into this. They're going to go for it, and they're going to beat each other up, and boy, did they. Yeah, it's a very Marmite kind of match, this. So this is a very kind of British, Japanese kind of style match. Do you know what I mean? It's not like typical American WWE style stuff. No. This is hard chops.
They can do the British style. They can do the Japanese, and they can do the Canadian style.
Oh God! For anyone who hasn't seen that promo from, obviously we love Davey, we love Georgia, massive friend of the show. But there's a promo Davey did in WCW, which was just mental, where he's like, I can do the Japanese style, I can do the German style, I can do the American style, I can do the Canadian style, and that's why they call me the British Bulldog. And it was just like,
I love it, right? Because it's brilliantly true. You know what I mean? I know you can chuckle at it, and we absolutely love Davey to bits, like you say, but like it's brilliantly that's so British. We've imported everything.
This is true.
You know what I mean?
There's that thing, isn't there?
Like a staple British dish now is a vindaloo because we just fucking import everything.
Yeah,
you know what
I mean? I can't remember what the full kind of script is, but there's something, isn't there, where it's like nothing being more British than ordering a Chinese and eating it on your Swedish couch while watching your Japanese TV. And it's a massive
it's like watching an American sitcom on Japanese TV.
Exactly.
Drinking a German beer. And it's like, that's it.
That's Britain. That's Britain for us.
And it just kind of always reminds me of that. That's why I constantly go back to that. It's one of those things that I just randomly quote that because most people I know aren't wrestling fans. Most people don't even get what the fuck I'm doing, but I still do it. Still quote it.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Much like this match, to be fair. So yeah, it's a very Dave Meltzer style match. You're going to see a lot of hard chops. You're going to see a lot of stiff work. But it was a great contest. I think Sheamus, considering there was a time not too long ago where we thought he may never even be able to wrestle again because of some nagging injuries. He's just on one hell of a tear of just phenomenal matches at the moment. And Gunther, it's one of them. It's as you expect from Gunther. He had another 5-star, even 6-star, was it possibly, with Dragunov?
I'll be completely honest. I didn't really know what to make of Gunther. I didn't really follow him in NXT UK. They made a big deal out of him coming over and being in our NXT and stuff like that, or when he had a couple of turns on Raw as Walter and stuff. Everyone treats him like a big deal, and I'm sure he deserved it. But for me, I was like, I don't know who this guy is, and that's no disrespect to what he's done before this, but this match here, let me go. That's who this guy is.
That's who this guy is.
He's fucking one to watch for me now, because I'm like, yeah, I'm behind him. I'm intrigued. I think he put on a hell of a match. And again, for those who kept track of it, and it's certainly one, again, I wasn't that big on it, but at the time, obviously, but we've got Imperium back as well, which was a surprise to us. Now, I'm not sure what the official stance was on that, but they had sort of dropped out for a little bit, but they are back. No, that's good. That's nice.
They are indeed. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they do with that, whether they go down the route of continuing that feud with obviously Sheamus' little crew versus Imperium as well. I'm not too sure where they're going to go.
Yeah, of course, because Sheamus has got Scrappy Doo and who's the other guy?
You know.
Oh, yeah, what's his face?
Yeah.
I can't remember the names. I know Scrappy Doo.
Ridge Holland.
Ridge Holland, thank you. Ridge Holland and Pete Dunne. So,
yeah.
Is he allowed to be Pete Dunne again, or is he still Butch technically at the minute?
Yeah, I think he's still.
A lot of people got their names back.
Yeah.
We should have really mentioned that in the news. People get their names back.
Well, they did an interview, didn't they? Seth, Bayley, and Pete for BBC not too long ago, just ahead of Clash, and they were referring to him as Pete Butch Dunne. So maybe that's what we'll see. I'm not too sure. But the thing I like most about this, obviously the match was great, but the Intercontinental title, Anthony, was featured at a pay-per-view.
What? That's what that was?
That's what that was. It's been so long, but that's what that was.
I barely recognised it.
If they can somehow redesign the ugly-looking fucking thing, then that would just be the icing on the cake.
We don't know what titles, but we're hearing members some titles getting new looks.
Fingers crossed. But yeah, I love how I've kind of coordinated my backdrop to green for Clash at the Castle as well, which is
nice.
Happy little accident, as Bob Ross would say. Now,
put a little right there.
So the next one to talk about, I was very surprised by not the outcome of this, but the way it unfolded. So it was Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler, and so let's cut to the chase. Liv got the win. I'm not sure whether you expected that. I think we both did. Can't remember. But I certainly
expected it to win. I think we were debating whether there was going to be interference.
Yeah, I think I thought maybe Ronda would show up. You thought maybe she would be like that chicken shit kind of heel who, somehow manages to get the win. But
yeah, I was actually really impressed overall with this match, but the fact that she got the win, like, if you know what I mean, like, it wasn't as screwy as I thought it was going to be by any means, and it was all round a good match. If anything, legitimizes her as a champion. Like, this is going to be one of those matches. Like, again, I don't know whether the crowd are fully behind her yet, but this is going a long way to getting the crowd behind her.
Well, it's unfortunate that they have to try and, claw that back, because the fans were behind her. They started to turn a little bit, as most fans do, because they're fickle. As
Daniel Bryan said, they're fickle.
Yeah, as soon as a face becomes a champion, it's kind of like, okay, well, you've won the belt now. What else am I meant to cheer for you, about? So I think Liv was starting to fall in place.
Hey, Kofi, how you doing?
That was very CM Punk of you. Hi, Cole Cabana. Breaking
I was going for CM Punk, and I was like, should I do a CM Punk one?
CM Punk? What else happened on stage at that?
CM Punk quote right now. Should I do that?
Can you tell? It's like 12 in the morning over here. Damn.
Be a scrum, to be honest.
To be fair. Just, I hope no one bites me as soon as I leave, as soon as the microphone goes off. But, yeah.
And everyone who you get a bank account with, Carl, because they're getting pissed off for some reason.
Well, it ain't with my mother. Let's put it that way. But yeah, so
for some reason.
she banks with everyone. It's great. I said bank.
That's a sign. I'm gonna make that sign.
Indeed. Did you see? Just a slight digression as well. There was a fantastic sign on Dynamite this week where it was the Elite, and somebody had cut teeth marks out the corner of it, which I just fucking just absolutely tickled me. But yeah, so I think, yeah, we kind of thought that Liv would somehow pull out the win. I don't think either of us expected that she was just going to do it clean and yeah, it's a shame that she's had to claw that back after the ridiculous thing they did with Ronda, where she tapped out, the ref didn't, and all that kind of stuff, because that just buried it. Do you know what I mean? So they've made
that was
a slight
shitty.
amend.
And
yeah,
this is like, this kind of redeems that a little bit, because there were so many chances where she could have tapped out or whichever, but she showed some moxie, Carl. She showed some moxie.
she did.
And that was a really good match, actually.
What's Moxie doing in the Impact Zone?
Moxie.
Okay, so on to the next one, and what a shocking turn of events that Dominic Mysterio would turn on his father like this.
Who saw that coming?
Yeah.
You and you and you and
that guy and that guy.
Every single podcast that we've interacted with. Every single podcast we interacted with before Clash at the Castle saw it coming.
Everybody saw it coming.
What a shock!
Indeed. Now, I was shitting on the fans before, but to be fair, they all did sing Edge's theme, and it was very, very loud. So fair play to you, and it is a banger of a theme. But the thing that surprises me with this is that Judgment Day still lost. Now, if you're going to do the turn and stuff like that, wouldn't it have made sense to not continue to... I don't want to say bury. A lot of people say, oh, you're getting buried every time someone loses, and that's not the case. So maybe it's not buried. But Judgment Day aren't exactly flying, are they?
It's not buried. What annoys me is it kind of makes them look stupid. Because, they lost largely because of Dominic helping.
Yeah.
But then they're still there with Dominic, we got you. He's like, you still lost them.
You lost the match, right?
I feel like your evil plan had a slight fuck up. He turned at the wrong fucking time. And it just seems so stupid that they did it that way.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And even just, I don't know, it was so... It annoyed me the way that it had to be another Eddie thing. I'll never let this go. But the way the whole story, as we've seen going forward, because we're not doing it this week in wrestling, so I feel like we can mention it here. We already know that they're pushing towards an Eddie fucking thing, and I don't understand why. How are you meant to make Dominic his own thing by him starting out parodying his dad, and now he's parodying Eddie Guerrero? Yeah, it's exactly that.
He's a tribute act. He's a fucking tribute act. That's all he is.
He is Eddie Guerrero from Wish. Is exactly what he is. But the issue with it is that it was the exact same turn that Eddie did to Ray that he then had Dominic do. So it was the same with the clothesline and everything. Like the thing with Edge and the low blow, okay, fair dues. He had just cause to turn on Edge, so it's not really that bad. But then, yeah, clothesline his dad and essentially just going to join the emo kids.
Once he's finished with his gimmick with Rhea, he's probably going to start lying and cheating and stealing with his cousin, because apparently we're just following the exact same career path that Eddie did.
Latino sheet is what he would be known as. But yeah,
that's the main thing that annoys me with it, to be honest. We were both, because credit to the match itself was a good match for what it was. Like you say, it's not really great for Judgment Day, but you kind of it's Edge's redemption, so the win kind of made sense. It's just a shame because that's not really helping them as a faction when they're coming in being all dominant and we're going to change things. But that being said, the heel turn, wrong time but right decision. I've been waiting for Dominic to turn heel on his dad for ages. I want that feud. That feud needs to be a thing.
Yeah, I thought that they might delay it a little bit more and get it ready for Mania or something and do the whole thing with the mask on the line or whatever. But
they can drag this out to Mania. Don't you worry.
It'll be the match 12 between them. The hotly anticipated.
This is probably maybe the last time they're ever going to face until next year.
Yeah, 12th in a lifetime they call it. Now the next match to talk about again was awesome with a very surprising finish, and we are of course talking Seth Rollins versus Matt Riddle, because he's got his first name back now. Although I think Seth is still Seth freaking Rollins, which is still ridiculous. And
again, credit to the crowd. This is another moment when the crowd are really joining in here, and it's on Seth's entrance. As much as I don't like his entrance music, the crowd were loving it. They were joining in. So again, credit to the crowd for joining in with the basically the song that had no lyrics, but there you go.
Yeah, and credit to Matt Riddle for dressing up like Patrick from SpongeBob, because why the hell not?
Although didn't we get that wrong?
We did. I think we thought it was a Scooby-Doo reference.
Wait a minute.
He's come out dressed like the Mystery Machine. Nope, that's Patrick. So we did get that wrong, but
Nope,
we also
Patrick.
got the finish to this wrong as well. So based on the whole thing with the promo beforehand and the like, hey, Riddle's still there and all this kind of stuff, and berating his family, it was like, yeah, this is well going to be Riddle getting his revenge. Nope. And that's the problem with this. We said ahead of time is both of these guys need a win. They're both losing consistently. Seth has lost about 20 matches to Cody Rhodes. Riddle has lost to everybody.
I don't think Seth's won in a long time. I think Seth's not won on a pay-per-view for a very long time as well. So
no, and he should be main event level and he should be getting a lot more wins. But at the same time, you kind of think this should have been Riddle's moment because I don't want to see them continue to go at it now again. So
no, sadly it looks like we're going to get that again. But
yeah, so it's an interesting one. Match itself was good though. I enjoyed the match. I think it was one of the most anticipated of the night. But yeah, surprised with the overall outcome.
Yeah, I mean, you and I had a heavy debate during the pay-per-view as to whether Matt Riddle's finisher did used to be the jackhammer.
And it was.
It was certainly one of his moves, but we don't know if it was ever his finisher per se. But while we're talking about finishers, Carl, I think the nice touch has been Seth mimicking RKO. RKO, mimicking Randy. And going for the RKO, doing the whole Viper thing on the mat and stuff, I thought were quite nice moments. Just to, again, furthers him as like that smarmy heel character. That's exactly something he'd do. But yeah, quite very surprising finish, but a very difficult one to call because they both needed it, as you say.
Indeed. And so the final match we want to talk about is the very highly anticipated Roman Reigns Drew McIntyre match. I so thought this was going to be the moment.
Here's the thing. We love this match. We're going to do some complaining in a sec, right? For the record, guys. We love this match. This was an out of our seat level
It was several times.
Literally, we're out of our seats a couple of times, right? And we're not knocking the match at all. This was a fucking brilliant match, and both of them really brought it. It's the finish. Finish. Not just 2-1. How it fucking happened is just so fucking so polarizing. I'm not even going to say it's a bad call. I just still don't know how to feel about it.
I think it was a cop out. To be fair, do we really need another member of the Bloodline? Like for me, you're not going to have a better opportunity to take one or both titles off Roman Reigns than this one.
Yeah. Well, we predicted a few things. We've talked about it a few times, but for me, the perfect solution would have been the weaseling out of it way they would have done, where he wins and he finds out he only won one title because it was a title match, not for both, or something along that line. That would have been the way to get it, right? But yeah, the fact that it's just like, nah, we're gonna have, and I think it was who it was as well. And this is no offense to Solo, but like, how many people would have had to have gone, who's that?
Who the fuck is that guy?
It's like, random bloke saves the day, and then you go, who's that? And you have to wait for the announcer to go, it's Solo Sikoa from NXT. He's the cousin of the Usos. Oh, that makes even more sense. Thanks, commentator guys. To me, it should have been someone more notable. It's no offense to him, but like, where's the shock factor when it's some guy? Yeah,
it's very tricky, that, to be fair. But I genuinely don't know where they're going with it now, because if it wasn't Drew here, you know, what are your options? It's going to have to be Cody, right?
This really feels like a missed opportunity, because I feel like, as you say, this was it. This was the moment. Like, the crowd was so fucking hot and so behind Drew. Drew actually got the moment. Like, after the match, Roman left and Drew got the crowd because he deserved the crowd. And you're like, that win would have been so fucking monumentous. It just doesn't make sense why they didn't do it.
Well, I just kept having flashbacks to SummerSlam 92. Obviously, we spoke about it with Georgia a lot. You know, it's a match I watch very, very frequently. And the fans who loved Bret Hart, by the way, don't get me wrong, the fans, when Davey won that Intercontinental title, just went mental. And the same would have happened for Drew. It would have been such, you know, WWE are all about making moments, right? That would have been one of the moments that they could have replayed, and, you know.
Don't be wrong. They made moments. Really, really confusing moments. You know, like when we had, like, just a weird, and I think even Drew acknowledged it was kind of strange. Like, we had a weird, 5 minutes of Tyson Fury serenading Drew.
What was that? Like
on his bill. The crowd weren't even singing with him at one point. Like, to start with, it was him by himself. He had to get the crowd involved. But, like, we're all just, like, we're sat there at home. The crowd sat there at the time, just like, okay, I guess he's singing.
Before we jump into that as well, because I do want to talk about that, what was quite funny was obviously Austin Theory coming down to cash in and Tyson Fury just chilling him.
I fucking love that. The minute Theory come down, I was gutted. I don't know how you felt, Carl. I know you're with Theory, Mark. I was gutted when he ran down. I was like, oh, for fuck's sake, here we go.
Well, if I do...
And he doesn't even get to cash in. He just got clocked. And I was like, that's fucking brilliant. That is the best use of Tyson.
Yeah, like, you know, we've watched a lot of stuff together, like the Rumble and WrestleManias and stuff like that. You mentioned, obviously, this was kind of edge of our seat, and even off our seat at times, we were really invested in it. But it was just so funny to see the whole trajectory of the match of us being like, whoa, oh my god, Drew's gonna win it. Oh no, Roman's gonna win it. Oh fuck, Drew's gonna win it. Oh what? Theory's coming out. Oh fuck, yeah, Tyson clocked him. No, Drew, solo seeker. And then just when you thought it couldn't go any lower, that's when they started singing, and we were just we stopped and we just looked at each other, didn't we, in disbelief, going, is this fucking happening? Is this like... Yeah. And, you know, by all accounts, we weren't meant to see it. I think that was meant to be a moment for the live fans, but for whatever reason, it stayed on. I can't think that they ever intended to show that. So... Yeah.
We were there with them. And as I say, it was a lovely moment. I'm not trying to knock it, but it was really fucking, like, weird. It was so weird.
It was bloody bizarre.
Yeah, even like I say, Drew in the media scrum afterwards, which was a lot less controversial than other media scrums. Drew in the media scrum afterwards actually joked about being serenaded and sort of like joked about his wife having to see that or something along that line, you know. And you know, even he acknowledged in a way that it was like that was kind of surreal. But yeah, I mean, love Tyson to bits. I absolutely love the Theory moment. That is one of them replay moments. That's getting replayed, certainly by me. Just watching Theory getting punched. Yep, that'll do. I tell you what was a shit moment, and I don't care what anyone says. It was a shit moment, and I want to get behind Karrion Kross, but this is the shittest way to do it, right? Karrion Kross, big, hard, intimidating man, and what does he do? He's there. He's at ringside. He's watching the match. What does he do? Throws water on him.
It wasn't even that, was it? Didn't he just like chuck his water bottle? Like, did he even soak him?
That was it.
Yeah.
They were there near the ramp at one point, and Karrion goes, eh. And you're
exactly.
Like, okay.
Exactly. It was so weird. It was like you were expecting some kind of swerve that just never came.
Yeah. He then just sat down and watched the rest of the match. He's like, what was that? Yeah. That was stupid. And it made him look stupid because it's like, so you've come here, you've bought a ticket. All right, probably not, but you know, you've sat ringside to watch the people you're after, just to go with a bottle, and do some nothing else.
Very questionable decisions. But I suppose as we wrap it up, what's next for Roman now? Then do we think it sounds like Roman's going to have some time away, which doesn't really make much sense. You know, even less sense that they brought that solo Sequoia, whatever the fuck it's called.
This is what gets really weird because he's having some time away. We've still got to try and do something with Karrion. Karrion's probably going to feud with Drew for no reason at all when he wants the title, and he put the clock in front of Roman. So they're going to keep that going while Roman's having his time off. And then I imagine the next thing is Karrion going for Roman, which just feels, at this stage, unrealistic for me, unless they do a cracking job of building Karrion. Because he can be built as a main event guy. We've seen it in NXT. I just think they haven't done that yet.
Yeah, and then obviously you've got Cody waiting in the wings, and you've got the rumoured, you know,
Cody's
Rock
back there tearing pecs at the minute. You know, don't know when he's coming back.
The rumoured Rock versus Roman match, which will it be for the title? Will it not?
Doesn't need to be.
Who knows? Doesn't need to be, but WWE.
If it's for the title, there's two. The problem I'll have if it's for the title is you've got two things, haven't you? You've got Roman wins and Roman wins. That, you know, business as usual. He keeps the belt. But you got the Rock wins, and then you're like, okay, so you're gonna have a stint now, and it seems unlikely you will. So, like, for me, it'd be a really weird booking to try and have the belt involved.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. Like, because if it's not Roman versus Rock at Mania, then it's all fine because it'll be Roman versus Cody, you'd imagine, and that's when it'll all happen. But if The Rock is free to wrestle Roman, then what you do with the belts, because you have to get the belts off Roman before Mania to make it not for the belts, right? So it's very. I'm not too sure what that timeline is.
I'd have enjoyed Drew Cody, so I would have been fine with it, but here we are.
Indeed. But yeah, so that was Clash at the Castle. Very surreal ending to the show, but fantastic main event.
A really good pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was. We enjoyed it. There was, I think, to your point, not every match on there was like, wow, this is amazing. But Gunther versus Sheamus was hard hitting. Seth versus Matt Riddle was really good, and that main event was fantastic up until the ending, wasn't it? It really did.
And again, Liv versus Shayna was surprisingly good.
Yeah, I'm happy what they did with the finish for it, and to try and build her back up a little bit, because I think she needs that. But yeah, we will see. But yeah, that was our WWE Clash at the Castle kind of thoughts. So let us know in the comments what do you agree? You're thinking the same as us. Did you disagree? Let us know. But until next time, here it's only fitting that we play a message from the wonderful Georgia Smith to say.
Hang on, can we not get a bit of a song from Tyson?
Oh wait, hang on. No, he's still there singing with Drew all these days later.
All right, we'll have to wait.
So yeah, here's Georgia Smith.
Hey guys, it's Georgia Smith here, and you've heard me on A2theK. These guys are awesome. Check it out. A2theK.
A2theK.